This video is about the sign node in Unreal Engine materials. I'm gonna explain what it is, what it's used for, and how we can use it. So let's do it. Right click in the material graph and search for sign. Two results will pop up. Here it is under math. Let's add it. It has one input, one output, and nothing here in the details tab. We can use this section to add a comment to the node. All the nodes have it. We can also right click on the node and add the comment from here. So what does it do? Whatever we feed into it, if the input is less than 0, it outputs -1. If the input is greater than 0, it outputs 1. And if the input is 0, it outputs 0. We can read about that if we hover the mouse cursor on top of the node. It essentially acts like an if node with this setup. B is always 0 and A is our input. Watch the if node video to learn more about it. So let's go over an example to see how we can use it in our materials. If you're not familiar with any of the nodes I use in this example, check out the material nodes playlist on my channel. I'll use this texture for the example. It's available for free on my website. Add a world position node and a multiply node. Drag out of the XY output, connect it like this, and multiply it by a low value like 0.005. If you're using an earlier version of the engine, you should add a component mask node after the world position node and mask the R and the G channels. Let's connect it to the UV's input of the texture. We use the multiply node to control the tiling of the texture. Here's before the multiply node. The texture is really small. And here's with the multiply node. Let's set the view mode to unlit to better see what's happening. If we look at the top of the sphere, we can see that everything is okay. But on the bottom, something is wrong. The numbers are mirrored in the X direction. We can fix this using the sign node. But before getting to that, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also join our communities on Telegram, Discord and Facebook. You can ask questions or answer them, share your work in progress and more. If you're interested in supporting the channel and downloading the project file of this video, check out my Patreon. The links are in the description. Add a vertex normal and connect it to a component mask node. I only want the B channel. Add a sign node and connect them like this. Let's preview the nodes one by one to see what we did. So here's the vertex normal node. Here's what we have after masking the B channel. We only get the values in the z-axis and the values range from -1 in the bottom to 1 on the top. So now let's preview the sign node. The bottom half of the sphere is all black with the value of -1 and the top half is all white with the value of 1. That's what sign outputs. Negative values all become -1, positive values all become 1 and the center stays 0. We should add another node. So let's stop the preview, add an append vector node and connect the sign node to the A input. Hold 1 and click to add a constant, set it to 1 and connect it to the B input. And now we should multiply these two values. So hold M and click to add a multiply node, connect them like this and connect the multiply node to the UV's input on the texture. Now let's check the sphere. And as we can see, the mirroring issue is fixed. Now let's go over what happened here. So there are two things to consider when fixing this issue. The first one is that the mirroring issue is only in the x-axis and the second one is that it's only in the bottom half of the sphere. The mirroring issue is only in the x-axis. That's why we use the append node. The values here have only one channel, but the values coming out of the world position node have two channels, x and y. So using the append node, we're creating a two-channel vector. The A input is the X value and the B input is the Y value. In this case, the texture is mirrored in the X axis, but is okay in the Y axis. So we just need to mirror it in the X axis. That's why we used 1 here. Any value multiplied by 1 stays the same. In this case, the Y values of the world position node. The sign is connected to the A input of the append, so it affects the X axis. So that's how we are fixing the mirroring issue only in the X axis. Now let's preview the sign node again. As I explained before, the top half is 1 and the bottom half is -1. So the top half is multiplied by 1 and stays the same, and the bottom half is multiplied by -1 and is mirrored. And that's how we only affect the bottom half of the sphere. So using these nodes, we only affect the bottom half of the sphere in the x-axis. And that's what fixed the issue. In case you're wondering, this is what happens if we don't use the style node. So let's use it. This is one of the issues we encounter when creating a tri-planar material, and now you know how to fix it. Here we were projecting the texture in the top-down direction, so I masked the B channel of the vertex normal. We can fix the other projections with the R and the G channels, but that's for another video. So that's it. Click here for more Unreal stuff, and thank you so much for watching. Also, a special thanks to my patrons for making this possible. Like this video, subscribe, and join our communities. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. So, see you in the next one.